Gestures are a form of non-verbal communication that can convey various meanings depending on the context and culture. However, some gestures may have contradictory meanings across different regions around the world. In this video, we will explore some of the most fascinating examples of contradictory gestures and their cultural significance. The OK gesture is commonly used in Western cultures to indicate approval or agreement. However, in other parts of the world, such as Latin America and Southern Europe, it is considered an offensive gesture that implies a certain part of the anatomy. In some Middle Eastern countries, the OK gesture is also seen as a symbol of evil or the evil eye. Thus, travelers should be cautious when using this gesture abroad. In Japan, bowing is a gesture of respect and gratitude. It is used in various situations such as greeting someone, showing appreciation, or apologizing. The depth and duration of the bow depend on the social status of the person being bowed to and the level of formality of the situation. On the other hand, in Western cultures, shaking hands is the most common form of greeting. It is seen as a sign of equality and mutual respect. However, some people may find it uncomfortable or inappropriate, especially in certain situations such as during a pandemic. In Western cultures, the thumbs-up gesture is a positive sign of approval or encouragement. However, in some Middle Eastern and African countries, it is considered an obscene gesture that implies the desire for sexual intercourse. In Australia, the thumbs-up gesture is sometimes used sarcastically to mean the opposite of approval, similar to a middle finger gesture in other cultures. In many cultures, nodding is a sign of agreement or affirmation. However, the frequency and intensity of the nod can convey different meanings. For example, in Bulgaria, a single nod means no, while a double nod means yes. In India, a slight head wobble can mean anything from yes to maybe to I understand. In some cultures, such as in Greece and Turkey, a single upward nod of the head is used as a greeting. This gesture is called the eyebrow flash, and is often accompanied by a smile. The V-sign gesture, made by extending the index and middle fingers with the palm facing outward, has different meanings in different cultures. In Western cultures, it is often used as a victory or peace sign. However, in some Asian countries, it is considered an insulting gesture that implies a woman's genitalia. In the UK, the V-sign gesture with the palm facing inward is equivalent to the middle finger gesture in other cultures, and is considered rude and offensive. In Western cultures, making eye contact is seen as a sign of confidence, honesty, and respect. It is also considered rude to avoid eye contact during a conversation. However, in many Asian cultures, prolonged eye contact can be seen as a sign of aggression or disrespect. In some African cultures, avoiding eye contact is a sign of respect, especially when talking to elders or people in authority. It is also believed that prolonged eye contact can transfer one's energy or soul to another person. Crossing one's fingers is a common gesture in Western cultures to wish for good luck or to make a promise. However, in Vietnam and some other Asian countries, it is considered an obscene gesture that implies a sexual act. In some parts of Europe, the crossed fingers gesture is also associated with lying or deception, similar to crossing one's fingers behind one's back. In many cultures, touching is a way of expressing affection and closeness. For example, hugging and kissing on the cheek are common forms of greeting in Latin American countries. However, in some cultures, such as in Japan, physical touch is reserved for close family members and romantic partners. In some Middle Eastern cultures, touching between members of the same gender is more common than between members of opposite genders. It is also important to note that touching can have different meanings depending on the context and the relationship between the people involved. Facial expressions are a universal form of communication, but their interpretation can vary greatly across cultures. For example, in Western cultures, a smile is often seen as a sign of happiness or friendliness. However, in some Asian cultures, a smile can be used to hide negative emotions such as embarrassment or discomfort. Similarly, the interpretation of other facial expressions such as frowning, raising eyebrows, or sticking out the tongue can also vary greatly across cultures. It is important to be aware of these differences in order to avoid misunderstandings and miscommunication. Gestures are a fascinating aspect of non-verbal communication that can reveal a lot about a culture's values and beliefs. However, it is important to be aware of the potential contradictions and misunderstandings that can arise when using these gestures across different cultures. By understanding the cultural significance of finger gestures, we can avoid unintentional offense and foster better cross-cultural communication.